So it's been a while since I released the video. I was on vacation. I was out of the country for 7 days. Now I'm back and I'm gonna hit you with non-stop videos. Maybe not every day, but you might get like two more of these just for this week alone. And I'm gonna go hard the rest of the summer. But part 10, the shit that New York Giants fans say. So I've been checking the Facebook groups and I've seen a couple different posters about the Trevor Lawrence contract. You might as well consider this video a continuation of that last video I posted 11 days ago. However, we're going to start with this comment from 366. More than likely, Dan. Here's the thing. My guy says the Giants aren't going to get good until both Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones are gone. We obviously still have Daniel Jones, and I would imagine if we get rid of Daniel Jones next season that we wouldn't go backwards and get worse, but you never know because you have a rookie quarterback. Let's just say we select a quarterback next year, which would probably be the guy from Georgia, and he has, some issues trying to adjust to the league. Then you could see a situation where we do just as bad if we do bad this season. I mean, the general consensus for NFL fans is that the Giants are going to be bad this year. I would say most of the fan base is optimistic and maybe believes we can win somewhere between 6 to 10 games. 8 to 10 if you're really optimistic. But yeah, we have to obviously get better if we get rid of Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley because we're assuming we're going to get better this year. And if we don't, well, that would probably hurt our coach and our GM because people are assuming they'll get fired. But you get rid of Daniel Jones and they get fired, you might actually get worse because you might have to go through a situation with a new quarterback, a new coach, and you're going to have to basically start that rebuild over again, which is why I don't think that Joe or Dable should get fired if Daniel Jones sucks, because I don't think it's just them that wanted Daniel Jones here. I think it was more so the powers that be, whether you want to say it's John Mara, which in my opinion, I think it's John Mara, and I think it's Eli Manning. I have no proof of this except for what's in front of us. The fact that Eli's always parading Daniel Jones around and he's the top Giant ever, you have to feel like his opinion has some influence. All right, so now we're going to transition to point number 2, which is the first point of the Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones talk. This was still going on, and it's still going on today. People are still replying to these posts. So this guy says that Trevor Lawrence's contract unseats Daniel Jones' contract as the worst contract for a quarterback. And this is true. I get it. Some of you guys don't like Daniel Jones. You think he's the worst quarterback in the league. He's been ranked as the 32nd quarterback in the league. I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Jones either, but he's definitely not the worst quarterback in the league. He's somewhere between 20 and 25 at this point. Last year, they had him ranked between 10 and maybe like 18th. That's where I was seeing him last season. And then obviously the disaster happened. That was the New York Giants offensive line and then Daniel Jones. It's not Daniel Jones first. It's that line. It's always been that line. We just had a good quarterback prior in Eli Manning. And even then we were dogging Eli Manning and calling him trash. And he was throwing up 4,000 yards behind the bad offensive line because he's actually really talented. I can't say the same for Daniel Jones, but we knew that from day one. So I don't know why we're acting surprised, especially for you guys that are obsessed with hating on Daniel Jones. You're acting surprised, but you knew from day one that you weren't going to like Daniel Jones. Some of you guys even lie, oh, well, I gave him a chance. No, you saw he was from Duke just like I did, and you said, oh my God, I have no hope for this guy. And then maybe some of you guys are smart enough to realize that this offensive line has consistently been bad. And so you can have expectations for Daniel Jones, but if he can't stand upright, he's going to be extra garbage. He's average in my opinion. Some people feel like he's the worst quarterback ever. And even if you had a good offensive line, he can't get past his first read. But I think that line is a part of the reason why he can't get past his first read more often than not. So there you have it. But I said this to somebody in the group. This is not a good contract. I don't care what the expectations are for Trevor Lawrence. People are saying that he's supposed to be like, basically they see Trevor Lawrence like the next Peyton Manning. I don't see it. I really don't see it. And he's had better weapons than Daniel Jones. He's had a better situation than Daniel Jones. And I've seen Giants fans make the excuse of Urban Meyer. Like Urban Meyer is not supposed to be a good coach. He's a good college coach. Still way better than Joe Judge. We got 2 years of Joe Judge. And basically those were Daniel Jones' worst years, and he just couldn't stay healthy either. And a lot of players couldn't stay healthy, and the players hated Joe Judge. Joe Judge was not a good coach, so Urban Meyer is not an excuse for Trevor Lawrence. So I would rather pay Daniel Jones, cut Daniel Jones next March, and pay a rookie quarterback and pay that 22 million in dead cap for Daniel Jones plus the rookie quarterback salary than pay Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has accomplished nothing. Trevor Lawrence has literally had the same playoff winning record as Daniel Jones. And my favorite quarterback who's not on this team, which is Justin Herbert, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't even been to the playoffs. So we talk about how good these quarterbacks are and how much they're getting paid and how they're worth the money they're getting paid. And when I look at this list with the quarterbacks that are getting paid, I don't even like Jalen Hurts, but I'm not mad at $51 million for Jalen Hurts. He's been to the Super Bowl. I get that. Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite quarterbacks. I wouldn't want him here because I actually like him and I don't trust us to keep him healthy. But he's worth the $52 million. Justin Herbert, I like. I'm not sure if he's worth $52 million if he hasn't been to the playoffs. Then Jared Goff is really good. I mean, they had a really good season. Their coach is the one that screwed him over last year. Jared Goff is pretty good. I'm okay with paying him $53 million. I mean, is it a good contract? Better than Trevor Lawrence? But I don't know. People like Trevor Lawrence. They're Giants fans that are, backing up Trevor Lawrence because they don't like the Daniel Jones comparison. The comparison doesn't come from Giants fans. It actually comes from NFL fans. It's not Giants fans that's pushing this. It's not the fake Daniel Jones fans because there's no such thing as a Daniel Jones fan. And I'm going to make a video on that soon. But even Joe Burrow, at least Joe Burrow has been to the Super Bowl, but Joe Burrow is now injury riddled. And so it's like, man, that Joe Burrow contract and that Trevor Lawrence contract does not look good. So he's right. Definitely unseated Daniel Jones is one of the worst quarterback contracts. And as every quarterback continues to get paid, Jones's contract is going to go down. So in the worst case scenario where you cut Daniel Jones in that last year, because who wants to pay Daniel Jones $58 million? I'm fine with keeping Daniel Jones than paying any of these quarterbacks not named Lamar Jackson. None of these quarterbacks on this list, even my guy Justin Herbert, I don't know. That all that money that they're getting paid, I would say the only one I like on that list is Lamar Jackson. And for our last comment from a Giants fan, I just want to highlight that we should stop doing this. I get it. Some of y'all don't like Daniel Jones. Y'all don't like when Daniel Jones get compared to any other quarterback because you feel like every quarterback is better than Daniel Jones because you don't like him and you're the only person that matters. Not the majority of the fan base that understand and have common sense and realize that we can't force Daniel Jones out of here. When they're ready to get rid of Daniel Jones, they'll get rid of Daniel Jones. For now, we just want this team to win, and if Daniel Jones needs to play better for them to win, then we're going to hope that he plays better and we're going to root for him. We're not going to be Daniel Jones fans. I'm going to make a video on that to explain to you guys why Daniel Jones fans don't exist. But stop doing this weird thing here where every time when we have something like this come up, which was not started by Giants fans. I get Giants fans are resharing it, but it was actually started by NFL fans. A lot of NFL fans looked at the numbers and saw the comparison between Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones over X amount of games. That was from CBS Sports, if I remember correctly. It wasn't like a New York Giants fan went out his way to do this. But we are trolling about this because it's hilarious. Trevor Lawrence is better than Daniel Jones, but he was supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. I'm not seeing the next Peyton Manning, but with that new contract, I guess Jacksonville is still seeing the next Peyton Manning. You could say what you want to say about how much better Trevor Lawrence is. Trevor Lawrence had a better team around him and still accomplished the same one playoff win, one playoff loss. I don't understand the Trevor Lawrence deriding from people who say that they're Giants fans. This is not a good contract. Like the last guy said, Daniel Jones' contract is not the worst contract for a quarterback, if it was before. It is definitely Trevor Lawrence. I mean, low-key, Joe Burrow's contract, I don't know. He's been to the Super Bowl, but if he's not healthy next season, his contract might be a part of those bad contracts. Deshaun Watson's contract was worse than Daniel Jones' contract. I get that you guys think that Deshaun Watson's still good. He's not. He hasn't been. I would rather have Daniel Jones, even with the torn ACL and all, but less money. That's the key thing. They both suck, but give me Daniel Jones. Deshaun Watson has not looked the same. Trevor Lawrence does not look like the next Peyton Manning. A lot of people make excuses for him. They say stuff like, well, he had Urban Meyer that first year, and you can see they got rid of Urban Meyer, and then now he's better, and he was better. But Daniel Jones had Joe Judge for 2 years, and a lot of people like to say that Galladay and Tate, they hated the Giants because Daniel Jones was the quarterback. No, motherfucker, they hated the Giants because Joe Judge was the freaking coach, and he was trash. He was booty cheeks. I would rather have Urban Meyer, who also sucked, but at least he was an actual coach. Joe Judge is back to being a QB coach or a wide receiver coach or whatever the hell he was with the Patriots. He should never be an NFL coach again. So, with that said, though, stop being weird. Stop riding the nuts of all these other quarterbacks because you don't like Daniel Jones. Like, just leave it alone. We understand that Trevor Lawrence is better than Daniel Jones. This is unnecessary D-riding. This is a flagrant 2. Get him out of here.
Talk about this nigga. He's ass. That motherfucker only has 1 playoff win and 40 interceptions. He's Daniel Jones with a lace front, nigga.